I'm so excited to chat with you guys about the Chasing Vibrance Challenge, about self care. As busy moms, it's hard to make time for self care. And I think a lot of times when we do, we feel guilty about it because our culture has just shifted self care. It can go kind of wrong in a couple ways. So I want to chat about that today, how it can go wrong. And then just kind of like why it matters, which is what the email talks about a lot today. If you're in the Chasing Vibrance Challenge email group, um, just about bringing your full self to the table, and how God delights in us. He delights in who He created us to be, and that means that we need to take care of ourselves. So I'm super excited to talk with you guys about this today. I think self-care is something we get wrong a lot of times. And self-care is just creating rhythms where you prioritize you. That's really all it is. A rhythm where you prioritize you. Rhythms are personal, they're unique, and they make you feel vibrant, alive, joyful, taken care of. And we have to be intentional about things that really bring us joy, or we get stuck in these cycles of just existing and surviving. And we're in this mode where we hardly even recognize ourselves and we feel like we're falling short somehow of the vibrant life that God has promised us. Like we see these promises in the Bible and we're like, but it does not match with what I'm experiencing in my life. So somehow I'm missing it, somehow I'm falling short. But really, we're putting all this guilt and pressure on ourselves when really there are lots of small steps forward that we can make, and that's what the Vibrant Life Academy that we're doing, which was the Chasing Vibrance Academy, but the Vibrant Life Academy is all about just helping you, giving you a framework and a path for moving forward. And we start in the right place, and then we build and we build and we build. Anyways, super excited about that. It's so good. But we just learn to be intentional about things that really bring us joy. And we know that matters because we matter to God, because He created us in His image, because He loves us, because He values us. And so that's why we make time for self-care and we make ourselves the priority in our own lives, because God prioritizes you. God loves you. God values you so much. He doesn't want you shrinking or playing small or putting yourself really on the back burner of your life. Does that make sense? Give me a heart or give me a thumbs up if you can see this and it's making sense to you, just so I know that you're here. And then we're going to talk about a couple roadblocks to self-care. I'm going to jump on Facebook on my phone, so I'm making sure that I'm seeing if y'all are here and your comments. Technology. We're getting there. Oh, yeah. Awesome. All right, so some roadblocks to self-care. First of all, we think that self-care is selfish. We think, oh my gosh, like I can't do that. That's selfish. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. You can't pour from an empty cup. Guys, it's such a cliche, but it's so true. You can't pour from an empty cup. You'll have nothing of value to give the people that really matter. You'll have really nothing of value to invest in your relationship with the Lord if you're so run ragged all the time. So self-care isn't selfish. It's something we do to be our best selves, to serve God. It's something I think that even the Bible, where it talks about love your neighbor as yourself, it kind of assumes that we're going to care and love ourselves, that we're going to take care of us. I think that's really important, that we just have the perspective that God prioritizes us. He loves us. Self-care isn't selfish. Self-care is not hygiene. This is my rant a little bit about this. You know, y'all, it breaks my heart when I hear women be like, oh, I took a shower today, hashtag self-care. And I'm like, my husband takes like 5 showers a day sometimes. Not really. But it's something that like showering is not self-care. Showering is just part of hygiene of your life. Now you can take a long, luxurious shower, a long, luxurious bath, where you're really kind of like creating an experience for yourself. And those are that's wonderful. That could be a way that you take care of yourself and you love yourself. Who here, if you've ever taken a shower that felt like self-care, you can just say a yes or drop an emoji in the comments. Sometimes those long, luxurious showers can feel like that, but just brushing your teeth, washing your face, like getting dressed, those are basic hygiene tasks, y'all. Okay, that's not self-care. Putting on pants is not self-care, okay? Those are, even in 2020, even in a pandemic, taking care of yourself, your basic hygiene needs is not self-care. And I think we've gotten that so twisted over our mom lives that we think that the only thing of value that the only way we can take care of ourselves is like basic hygiene. So that would break my heart if my daughter thought that, and I don't want to think that. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to get stuck in that cycle of thinking. So basic hygiene, not self-care either. Self-care, not selfish. And finally, self-care doesn't have to be hard or expensive. Really, when we're talking about these rhythms, we are going to try to build these into our lives. And it doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm planning a weekend away in a Napa vineyard with all my girlfriends. Okay, it doesn't have to be that big or that expensive or that much of a thing. Really, for me, sometimes self-care is the fact that I regularly schedule a date night. Self-care is that Tuesday mornings I have a babysitter that comes and I go away and work by myself. That feels like self-care to me a lot of times. Self-care is that I sit down and I read a book that I really love. Self-care a lot of times to me is just like taking a moment, taking a breath, like with my cup of tea or my LaCroix or my bubbly. Self-care can be like getting cute, like blow drying your hair and putting on fresh makeup and curling it and just really feeling like, man, I put some extra beyond hygiene effort into my appearance today, and that makes me feel good. That could be painting your nails or getting a massage. It could be just like sometimes painting your own nails. We're talking about like easy rhythms that we're going to just put in our life. And these are going to be things that we do all the time, things that just help us not to get the point of being burnt out and overwhelmed and we don't have any idea what we would do for yourself. I know sometimes we think like, oh, we've got to plan a really big like girls' night out or date night or something, but just if you can get just a little bite, like if you can say, hey, to a friend, like, can we meet for coffee this Friday? Set the kids loose in the backyard. Can we meet up and maybe have lunch? Like we can go to Subway and get lunch on a Saturday. And those little things, like if we make it bite-sized, we make it not treat yourself to fragrances and massages and Beverly Hills, all that kind of that thing, it becomes something we can just naturally do and incorporate in our lives. And so that's what I really want to encourage you with this challenge. This is kind of where it all started for me. Back when my kids were super small, I was really just wanting to do something each day that lit me up. What I realized was things that lit me up the most were things like reading my Bible. That became like the best form of self-care that I could do. And I kind of just kept a list and experimented and tried different things, and those became the things that I added to my life and turned them from things I did every once in a while into rhythms and routines that really keep me going even when things are hard. And this has been a year of a lot of hard things. It's a year that has been really easy to be stuck in habits and in ways of thinking and routines that do not serve our faith, that do not serve our families, that don't serve our lives, like us being our best self. I know that the world is scary. I know that things are harder this year than maybe they've ever been in your life, but God is still good. His promises are still true. He still loves you. He's still got an amazing plan for your life. And those are the stuff I just want this week to be so encouraging for you, so uplifting. There's so much in our world that is trying to get us to oppose each other and to fight, that's trying to get us down, like just to feel rotten about our future and our lives. And I want this week for you to be a week where you're like, yes, I can do this. There are good and beautiful and joyful things in my life, and I can be intentional about adding more and more of those things, even in just the everyday, ordinary, mundane moments. So this is it. That's my passion. It's my hope for you that this little pick-me-ups, whether you're getting them in your email or you're checking in just here on Facebook or on social media, wherever, that this just blesses you, that you come away from these little chats with some more intentions about how to be more joyful in your life, that you would take good care of yourself today, my dear friend, that you would know how deeply loved by the Father you are. You are His dear child, and He delights in you. And I just pray that you take time for yourself today. All right, you guys have a great afternoon.